Hello, and welcome back to the Boundary Blueprint. Today is lesson 4, nervous system regulation and maintenance. What we'll cover is breath is everything. We'll learn some breathing techniques, quick nervous system reset tool, daily grounding practices as maintenance, and how to use your sensory sensitivity to soothe your nervous system. I've been a long time yoga teacher, so I love, love, love the breath. I studied in India, and in India, they take yoga as a whole system. It is a spiritual path to enlightenment, but to get there, there are 8 limbs, and you use them simultaneously, but it has to do with your principles, your values, your ethics, also the physical postures, else, and then the breath, and then stages to get to meditation, and then higher states of consciousness. And the breath is the bridge to the higher states of consciousness. And so it really allows for higher states of consciousness, for natural awakening of spirit and life and becoming more present and healthy. And it is the greatest tool that you've been given in this world. And naturally, the breath can reset your nervous system, increase your energy, improve focus, reduce anxiety and stress, lower cortisol levels, increase endorphins and other happy hormones, elevate your mood, and lower your blood pressure, and so many more things. So I say it's the greatest tool that you've been equipped with because I call it like a tool in your back pocket. It's always with you. To practice these techniques like breathing and even the physical postures of yoga, you don't need special equipment. That's what's so beautiful about it. You have it right here. Basically, it is your greatest tool to reduce anxiety and level out your system in a heartbeat. So, deep breathing, let's talk about that for a minute. Slow, controlled breathing activates the parasympathetic nervous system, the rest and digest nervous system, helping to reduce stress, promote relaxation, and improve overall health. Why do you think yogis are so chill and happy? Diaphragmatic breathing, also known as belly breathing, allows for maximum oxygen intake. During inhalation, the diaphragm, which is located right here beneath the ribs, it contracts and moves down. So it's like a jellyfish, like a dome. And what happens is it contracts and moves down. And that allows the expansion of the chest cavity because that expands the ribs and then expands the lungs. So that when the chest cavity and the ribs expand, this allows the lungs to stretch to their fullest capacity. So this expansion creates a negative pressure drawing air into the lungs. During exhalation, the diaphragm relaxes and returns to its dome shape back up here, decreasing the chest volume, and this forces air out of the lungs, carrying with it carbon dioxide. This is the natural detoxification process. So when you allow your belly to have space, you're not breathing in your belly, but they call it belly breath because your diaphragm moves down. You're not forcing that. When you allow it to do its job, what happens is automatically, it's kind of like turning on a vacuum, I feel like, in the throat, especially when you engage the throat slightly to do ujjayi breath, which we won't really cover. But if you engage your throat slightly and inhale through the nose, then you'll hear like a sound of the ocean. And what happens is it creates that negative pressure that just draws that air in naturally. And it feels like this beautiful, involuntary thing happening. I mean, we are breathing involuntarily all the time. But when you slow the breath down and you bring awareness to the breath, that's what activates the parasympathetic nervous system. So, the diaphragmatic breathing also improves the body's natural ability to detoxify by facilitating efficient oxygen intake and carbon dioxide removal because you're slowing down the process. You're giving your body more time to take in more oxygen and then time for that to exchange in the blood so that carbon dioxide can be carried back to the heart and released from your lungs. So this encourages the body to fully utilize oxygen intake and expel carbon dioxide, promoting efficient gas exchange. Breathing techniques to regulate the nervous system. The 4-7-8 method. You inhale 4 seconds, hold 7, exhale 8. By extending the exhale, when you extend the exhale, it stimulates the vagus nerve, which helps regulate the nervous system and promotes a sense of calm. Inhalation actually activates the sympathetic nervous system. Exhalation activates the parasympathetic nervous system. When you're talking a lot or you're nervous or you don't know how to use the diaphragm to breathe, then you're activating the sympathetic, the fight or flight stress response way more often. So you're more stressed out. And then what happens in a panic attack? Thought, fear, stress, aka fear, stimulates an emotion, fear, which tells the brain you're in danger, which releases adrenaline, which makes your blood pump faster and you breathe more heavily. It sends more oxygen to the brain. And when a panic attack is actually an acceleration of adrenaline, of the stress response. And so the breath gets too rapid and all the oxygen goes to the brain, and that's why you start to feel the numbness in the fingers and in the toes and in the limbs, because it goes beyond the natural body's response to stress. So if you think about the exhale being longer, you're stimulating the vagus nerve, but you're activating the parasympathetic nervous system longer. So you're in the rest and digest longer. So this is a great way to start for beginners. So let's practice this real quick. And just take one hand to the chest and one hand to the belly, because this is going to allow you to really feel the diaphragm moving. So first, let's just close the eyes, relax the shoulders, relax the face. Start to inhale through the nose, and you can exhale through the mouth for this exercise, with the lips just slightly open enough as if you were breathing through a straw. Inhale through the nose, exhale through the straw. Feel the belly, feel the hand that's on the belly move first, and then feel the chest. And then feel the chest relax first, and then the belly. What you're feeling is the diaphragm's dome shape moving down and contracting down towards the belly, creating that negative pressure, and then automatically the chest cavity expanding. So you're feeling the expansion. It's an expansion in all directions, like a beach ball. It's not up and down, like you're blowing up a balloon. So blow up the balloon in the belly, and then it expands up into the chest, and then the chest relaxes, and then the belly. This is called the two-part breath. This is just simple awareness of the diaphragmatic breathing, allowing yourself to use the healthiest, most effective form of breathing. This is how you should breathe when you sleep. Watch a baby breathing. Watch the ribs and the belly expand. Watch your dog while they're sleeping. How does a dog breathe? You see the ribs expand, right? Okay, so to move into this practice of the 4-7-8, inhale 4 seconds through the nose. 1, 2, 3, 4. Comfortably without straining, try to hold for 7 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then a slow 8 count out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Do this again on your own and observe if these numbers feel comfortable for you. If they do not, I want you to come up with your own number. So if 4 is not comfortable, how about 3? If 7 holding isn't comfortable, how about 5? Whatever your inhalation is, your exhalation is twice that. So if you're inhaling 3, exhale 6, and so on. Now, one more fun fact about come back when you're ready. The holding part in yoga is called kumbhaka, and kumbhaka is where it's called breath retention, and you're just pausing between the inhalation and the exhalation. So you're not like puffing up like and like waiting for something big to happen. You're just suspending. You're pausing. You're gently, lovingly holding the prana, the life force energy in the body. Numerous benefits to this as well. So, if you want to do it on your own, you can pause this and read through how to do this. And here's the full instructions for you. Alternate nostril breathing, one of my favorites. Alternate nostril breathing, also known as Nadi Shodhana, offers various benefits. This technique has been linked to improved concentration, focus, and even enhances memory and movement. It may help harmonize the left and the right hemispheres of the brain, potentially leading to improved cognitive function. My yoga studies tell me that we have over 72,000 nadis in the body. Nadi means channel, energy channel that carries prana, life force energy, into all the different parts of the body. The nervous system, the brain, the energy centers, which are chakras, right? The left side energy channel is called Ida. And represents the moon energy, the mental energy, the rest and digest, calm energy. It's also the feminine. And then Pingala is the masculine, the sun energy, the action energy, the energy of action in the world, the physical. And so those two things are both needed in life, right? The two channels, Ida and Pingala, start in the root, and then the channels separate and they cross again at the sacral chakra, and they separate and cross at the solar plexus, and then the heart, the throat, and the end of the third eye. And what they're doing is feeding the energy centers with this prana. When you're doing Nadi Shodhana, you're bringing in equal amounts of life force energy and oxygen into the body, in through the left and the right, the mental and the physical. And these are filling up, energizing, nourishing the energy centers. And then the central channel, Sushumna, connects all of these energy centers. So when you're doing Nadi Shodhana, you're balancing the left and the right hemispheres of the brain, the left and the right, the mental and the physical energies, and the feminine and the masculine. So here's how it's done. To do this, you can read the instructions on your own time when you want to come back to this. To do this, let's do it together and close the eyes. While you start to relax and get ready for this practice, a couple of tips. You breathe gently and evenly through both nostrils. So if one is congested, if you're really congested, just skip this practice for now. You're going to notice that one side is usually more active, meaning has a stronger flow of breath than the other side. Once you're done with this practice, if you get in at least 3 minutes, 3 to 5 minutes, they should be more equal. Unless there's a physical obstruction, if it's, allergy season and you're more congested, for instance. So again, you want to breathe gently and evenly through both sides. Another tip, when you do close the nostrils, you'll be using your thumb for the right nostril and your index finger for the left nostril. And when you close these nostrils, you're going to do it gently. Normally you want to start with 5 to 10 rounds and work your way up to 5 minutes. With your eyes closed, take your left hand, turn it upward, and take your index finger and your thumb and place those together. This is a mudra that allows the prana that you're building to stay in the body. This technique is going to be best used as a daily maintenance tool, like after your morning yoga practice or before a meditation practice or right before bed. If you're highly stimulated in the moment and you're feeling overwhelmed, first, I recommend before you do this practice, do the diaphragmatic breathing or the 4-7-8 method, then start this one. So you can rest your right hand, index finger, and middle finger on the third eye. If you've never done this before, this is how beginners start. If you're familiar with this practice, you can just rest those two fingers down and use your thumb and your index finger to breathe. Okay. I'm going to curl my fingers under so that you can see the use of my right with my thumb and my index finger. So we start by closing the right nostril gently with the thumb. Inhale through the left side. Gently close the left nostril and then release the right side and exhale through the right. Inhale through the right. Close it gently with the thumb. Exhale left. Inhale left. Close the left. Exhale right. Inhale right. Close. Exhale left. Keep going. Choose a number that works for you. Maybe try to start with 4 seconds in, 4 seconds out. For the sake of this practice, I want you to do inhale and exhale equally. The purpose of this one is gentle, relaxing, equal parts. The next time you breathe out of your left side, release your hands to your lap. Breathe through both nostrils, in and out, and come back when you're ready. Beginning of the practice, if you noticed one side was stronger than the other, maybe you notice they're more equal now. Again, I recommend starting with 5 to 10 rounds, moving up to 5 minutes. Before bed is great. In the morning after your yoga practice is great. It's really nice to help your mind calm before a meeting, before a social interaction, before meditation. Just keep it simple. Okay, moving on. Humming bee breath, or Brahmari breath. You make a humming sound inside of your head. Also known as Brahmari pranayama, can improve respiratory function, reduce tension in the neck and shoulders, stimulate blood circulation, and accelerate the healing process through the vibrations. I love this breath. There's so much more information I can give you. Look it up. Look up the benefits if you want to know. In India, they actually recommend this to patients in the hospital after they've had surgery. The vibrations are super healing and super powerful. But for this purpose that I'm using it for this course in particular for high sensitivity is to reset the nervous system. It's a quick go-to to come back and reset. So by closing the eyes and the ears, you're closing outside stimulation. You're closing off the vision, you're closing off the hearing, and you're really able to go inward into the body. And what you do when you do this is just focus on the vibration, focus on the humming sound, feel it. You can focus on the third eye if your mind starts to wander. You can just cover your eyes gently and close the ears, the little cartilage right here, with the thumbs if you're doing this method. Or you can take your tip of your fingers and close. You don't go inside of it. You actually close the outside of the cartilage and just rest it gently. Relax your elbows, and then you would take deep breaths through the nose and exhale with a humming sound with your mouth gently closed. So here are the instructions, and then we'll do it together. I just gave you a few of them, but I'm just going to read through. With your eyes closed, you can place your index fingers gently on the cartilage between your cheeks and ears, or you use your thumb like I showed you and the fingers to gently close the eyes for a deeper inward focus. Take a deep breath in through the nose, and as you exhale slowly, you'll make a gentle humming sound like a bee, a slow, smooth sound. Focus on the vibration and the sound within your head. You're going to do this for about 5 to 7 rounds. This is a quick reset. 5 to 7 is plenty. When I do it in the morning as my pranayama practice, I try to do at least 3 minutes. Keep the mouth closed, but the lips are slightly parted for a soft resonance. So I want you to practice that. So your mouth is closed. Take a deep breath. And then just open it enough, almost as if you could get a straw in there, just the front part. And feel the rest of your mouth relaxing and not tensing the jaw. And hum. And then avoid straining the sound. Don't go, all tense. The purpose is to relax. It's soft and gentle. We'll do 5. We'll stick with it. Okay, so you choose closing the eyes or just the ears. Okay, deep breath in. And to yourself, you're going to do this 5 times. When you're finished, release your hands to your legs. Take a normal breath in and out. Feel the vibration in the body, the residual vibration, frequency that you just created with this breath. If you don't feel it now, you will with more practice. This is called the highlighter technique. The story that I read on this is the original picture from the TikTok post that this therapist posted from her office, and she was explaining this technique, and it's really any object, and a highlighter was the closest thing to her. So she held up the highlighter and demonstrated this. So I'm going to use chapstick because I forgot to look for a highlighter. And so this simple 1 minute technique could help calm the nerves in seconds by fooling the body into thinking it's relaxed. So any object, okay? You hold an object such as a highlighter or chapstick in front of you. So look close up and then look far away. And go back and forth. Chapstick, computer. I'm doing chapstick, computer. What you're doing is you're activating your oculocardiac reflex, which calms down your vagus nerve and regulates your breathing. Remember, the vagus nerve stimulates the rest and digest nervous system. So this is going to help stimulate the rest and digest and regulate your breathing. The oculocardiac reflex is a decrease in heart rate that occurs following slight pressure on the eyeballs, such as engaging the extraocular muscles to shift focus between objects. So this shifting of the focus close up and far away puts a slight pressure on the eyeballs, and this engages the focus muscles, and it helps somehow activate the vagus nerve and regulate your breathing and bring you out of a panic attack. So very cool little fun technique. So now you have 3 breathing techniques. You learned all about the diaphragm and diaphragmatic breathing, and then you learned 3 amazing breathing techniques that you can use for daily maintenance and can be used in the moment when you need it quickly to reset your nervous system. And then you learn the highlighter techniques, and now you have 4 tools in your pocket, right? If you start to get overstimulated. Also, by the way, all 3 of those breathing techniques can be your daily maintenance, which I highly recommend doing those in the morning, 1 or all 3 of them as a practice. And then the more you practice them, the more your nervous system gets ready for the day. You're setting yourself up for success. And then by practicing these more regularly, you're more accustomed to just tapping into them when you need them. So, more nervous system maintenance. Daily practices such as yoga, meditation, journaling, pranayama, let me throw that in there, that's part of your yoga, gratitude, and boundary setting are crucial to maintain a healthy lifestyle for the highly sensitive person. Daily maintenance. So important. I recommend starting with 1 practice and continuing that for 30 days, unless you already have a practice. So maybe you want to start a meditation or a gratitude journal or a 10-minute yoga practice in the morning. Whatever you choose, and you can add to it. You can make it as long as you'd like, but make it attainable. Don't make it unrealistic. Whatever you choose, do 30 days straight of that one thing plus extras if you want to, but at least that one thing. So maybe sometimes you do a 10-minute yoga practice and sometimes you add in a breathing technique or 2 or 3. But every day you have the one thing that you're doing. So if you pick a 10-minute yoga practice or 1 yoga pose, do that same thing for 30 days and you will see incredible results. Sensory soothing. This is kind of like using your sensory processing, your depth of processing to your advantage. It's like a superpower, like tapping into being able to use your senses to soothe your nervous system. Think of a spa. Think about the music they're playing, the atmosphere, the colors. It's probably minimalistic, probably low lighting. There's probably candles. and soft music going on, right? Nice textures. If it's a good spa, they have like heated blankets or heated padding underneath you. They give you soft robes. There's a steam room. There's all these different things, hopefully eucalyptus in the steam room. There's all these different tools that they use to help relax your nervous system. So think of being highly sensitive as the need to have a spa treatment. You can create your own spa atmosphere at home. Now, I know what you're thinking, especially if you have multiple kids or an unsupportive husband or a very busy life. Remember, first of all, you choose the way you live your life. Just because it's one way now doesn't mean it can't change. And it doesn't mean that you can't implement small tools and small practices into your daily life, your current life as it is, to really help regulate your nervous system, to give you that daily reprieve, your sanctuary that you get to create. So, how can you create the sanctuary? You can change the lighting in the house. Yes, that's true. If you do share it with somebody else, it's still half yours. You can change the light bulbs if you need them. I do highly recommend changing out bright, aggravating lights for low lights. I mean, you're a mom, you're an adult, you're highly sensitive. You've probably already done this by now. But if you haven't, consider it. Where can you add lower lighting? Do you have a favorite scent, candles, essential oils, textures? Do you have a favorite silky robe or a massage oil or a cream you like to put on your body to moisturize and soothe your skin? Is there a more comfortable pillow you can invest in? Is there a meditation pillow in a corner you can make for your meditation space? Can you keep your yoga mat and favorite blanket nearby in a certain area so that you can roll that out? So, whatever it is that makes you happy, cozy fabric, soft textures, soothing scents, favorite music, low lighting, rich flavors like your favorite tea, chocolate, dark chocolate. Do you have something that you really crave and love and is special? In what ways can you make it feel like a spa? Can you treat yourself? How can you bring your children in on this with you to teach them about self-care and self-maintenance and also enjoy it together? My daughter and I actually do have spa days sometimes. They're just very sporadic. We'll make our own facial mask with oatmeal and honey and milk, and you blend the oats until it's a powder, and you mix those three, and we'll put it on each other, and just pretend we're at the spa. We'll do each other's nails. You can fill a bucket of hot water and Epsom salt with essential oils and soak your feet together while you watch your favorite show. How can you do this with your child? How can you do it with your family or teach them how to honor your needs? This can be 5 minutes, y'all. This doesn't have to be a 30-minute thing every single day, or it can be. Why not? Why not 15 to 30 minutes in the morning of self-care before anybody wakes up when it's nice and quiet? And why not 30 minutes at the end of the day? Do you not deserve that? Do you not deserve 30 minutes on your own? And again, these can be little moments of, like, for me, I love doing the dishes on my own. I live in a two-level space, very small and quaint, but I love it because I have multiple outdoor spaces I can go to. I have the garden, and my kitchen is downstairs while my daughter can be upstairs watching TV or dancing, which I hear her stomping around sometimes, dancing or coloring or whatever. Then she has a little play area. We made our carport into a play area. So get creative. It doesn't have to be just your bedroom or your bathroom or whatever. Have a space. Your car can be your sanctuary. So I can go on and on forever. I'll end it with this. Find a way to soothe your nervous system every day. Figure out which tools work best. It doesn't have to be the ones I've given you, but these are great places to start. If you've learned something, there's so much beautiful self-help out there now on Instagram and TikTok, and lots of people that maybe you follow, and so many therapists on YouTube now. So find something that works for you. Recognize that your nervous system is more sensitive than the average person who is non-sensitive. We're 20% of the population. We're unique. We have specific requirements. So find the ones that work for you and see it as an act of self-love, because it is. And give yourself permission to enjoy and to indulge once in a while and soothe your nervous system, because if you don't, you'll operate daily by by over exceeding your limits, your energetic and time limits. You're going to feel too much, process too much, and get too overwhelmed. And then you'll have nothing left. And then you're not able to tap in to the beautiful gift that makes you highly sensitive in the first place.